Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2015 to 2022 to 2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating various important events. One is Vaikunta Ekadashi or Mukkoti Ekadashi or Mokshada Ekadashi. Which occurs in the Margashira Mass in Shukla Paksha. This year, it is celebrated on today, that is 23rd December 2023, which is an important celebration across the world, especially for Hindus, not only just Hindus, for the entire human beings, because it is related to Sanatana Dharma, where no religion existed. Even there was no concept of religion as such. Since time immemorially, these concepts were existing. And it has been practiced, and various rituals have been performed for the well-being of everyone and the planet. For a common man to practice, or a common person to practice the simple ritual, is to perform worship at home, which is a form of expressing gratitude for providing us the resources. It may be natural or human-made resources, and for the opportunity for this life, and express gratitude for the continuous support that is being showered through grace on us, and also the ritual of visiting temples dedicated to Lord Sri Mahavishnu or Srinivasa, Perumal or Lord Venkateshwara Swami, or any one of the forms of incarnations of Lord Sri Mahavishnu. And the passage through the Vaikunta Dwaram or Vaikunta Dwar on this auspicious day, seeking the grace and benevolence of Lord Sriman Narayana, is a must to reach the abode of Lord Sriman Narayan. So, Vaikunta is nothing but the abode of Lord Sri Mahavishnu, and especially Vaishnavites who worship Vishnu and various forms, incarnations of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and other forms of Lord Sri Vishnu, believe that this is the 108th Divyadesha Kshetra. So it is very important that 106 which are physically present in India, Nepal, one can visit these Divyadeshams through physical body. But the rest of two Divyadeshams cannot be visited by physical body. So you can only do yogic travel to these Divyadeshams, or after you attain moksha, you can visit these both Divyadeshams. So visit nearest temple to pass the Vaikuntha Dwaram to receive the benevolence of Vaikuntapati. According to Puranas, Lord Vishnu created a female form and called her Ekadasi in order to kill a demon, Murasu. Lord Vishnu blessed Ekadashi with a boon that anyone keeping a fast on this day of Ekadashi and offering pujas to him gets salvation and attains Vaikuntha, the Lord's abode. So this Ekadashi, which occurs in every month, is an auspicious day for fasting. Ekadashi, or the 11th day, which occurs twice in a month, sometimes thrice, as per Hindu calendar. Even in Gregorian calendar also we can see. And in a 24 days are observed as Ekadashi. This is considered a day to cleanse the body, aid repair and regeneration, and is usually observed by partial or complete fast. Now we keep talking of detoxification, right? Detoxification of mind and body. This Ekadashi, which comes twice in a month, helps us to detoxify not only our body, but also mind, and through this process, our soul, to purify ourselves and be connected to the Almighty. Those who fast on this day are said to be rid of malefic influences. It may be anything. Those who believe in planetary influences or the influences of good and evil and various other aspects that influence human beings. It may be any factor that may be influencing human beings, and get rid of all such negative influences and experience happiness, gains peace of mind, and attain moksha, the salvation. Ekadashi Vrat is also known as Vratatrayam. So that's why people who are practicing or devotees who are fasting shall restrain from taking especially grains on this day. And if their health permits, they can do complete fasting till tomorrow, till Dwadasi, or they can restrain from taking grains and they can continue with fasting with other food materials or fruits or even milk and other food products. So this will help them to maintain their routine because not everyone has the equal state of health and well-being. So this health and well-being, though everyone has been bestowed with the potential of reaching or achieving equally, but still due to various factors of known and unknown and due to epigenetic factors, nature versus nurture, the nature by nature and also by the learning process over a period of time, we acquire, we develop various practices, various rituals, and various learning through the learning process, we gain information. We acquire through that information, we acquire knowledge, and that knowledge is transformed into wisdom. That wisdom helps us to get enlightened, to understand the material and non material aspects, philosophical aspects of the world and the planet. This is in simple to understand, trying to give the importance, though we are not getting into detail of that. So on this Vaikunta Ekadasi, we seek the blessings and prayers of the Almighty Lord Sriman Narayana, Lord Sri Mahavishnu, and Goddess Consort Sri Mahalakshmi to offer as the health, wealth, and well being, and accept our holy prayers and gratitude on this day, and fulfill our vows for our health and well being. There are various legends also associated to help us to understand. And today is also being celebrated as Gita Jayanti, that is the birthday of Bhagavad Gita. In the battlefield, this was delivered to Lord by Lord Krishna to Lord Arjuna when he was facing the dilemma moral dilemma, ethical dilemma, about waging a war against his own family members. As a family, or the extended family, few members of the family have taken one on the evil side and one on the good side. Due to nature, it's not by nature, but through the selection of choice. Like we also make choices. That's why, when we have to refer to our ancient scripts always, so that we know, we get the problems. We get to know the problems, and we also get to know the solutions. Because it is through this that we keep learning how to live our life and how to manage different stresses of our life. That's why it's very important to understand life. We need to go through all these scriptures, not as a religious scriptures, but as a philosophical text or as an ancient knowledge systems. We need to refer to these scriptures. We need to read them. We need to understand them so that we gain the knowledge required for our smooth journey of our lives. So, you can start reading Bhagavad Gita and try to learn the essence of it, and also listen to Sri Vishnu Sahasranama to gain the benefits. Those who cannot read or those who cannot understand the language or those who cannot recite, even by listening, because now we have various sources where we can access through online, through television, where we can access the recorded versions. Even if you play that and listen to that, you can get the benefits of listening to the Vishnu Sahasrama. So the greatness lies in the rhythm of sound, the combination of sounds, which create a rhythm, which creates an energy that helps in addressing, in reforming us, and in addressing various issues. Purify us, cleanse us, and take us to the meditative state, to the concentrated state, where we can achieve more focus, concentrate on our duties, tasks to be performed, so that we can achieve our highest potential. So Vaikuntham is a place where there is no lack or shortage, there is only abundance. It is believed that on this auspicious day, the gates of Vaikuntha, the celestial abode of Lord Sri Mahavishnu, open up, offering a rare opportunity to attain moksha or liberation from the cycle of birth and death. That's why every person born on this planet, or every living species on the planet, especially human beings, they are waiting for this day to offer themselves to the Lord so that they can get rid of this birth and death cycle. Because in the process of our activities, it may be the thought process, or it may be the physical process, or it may be through the act act of our actions, various doings. We commit various sins. We do good things, also we do bad things. So all good things are also accounted for, and also bad things are also accounted for. And we maintain a karmic account that is known as karma, that is DNA. And that DNA does not change. It passes from generations to generations. That's why, we talk about getting hereditary genetical diseases. That is like a property which has been inherited from our ancestors. If they do a lot of good things, we get a lot of good, if they accumulate more resources, we will be having more resources, more opportunities. If they do not accumulate anything, then there is nothing left for us, and we need to struggle, so that we need to build all that is required for us, because there is nothing that is available readily, that has been inherited from our ancestors. Again, nature versus nurture has always provided the opportunities. What if might be wondering, say we don't have any inherited property, like many of us we see, we don't have any ancestor property. My father or my grandfather didn't have, give me anything. Now what to do? Will I remain poor forever? No, because everyone is bestowed with the equal potential. So everyone has the opportunity to reach their potential. With that, one can achieve and start accumulating good karma by by doing good deeds. Deeds may not be always in material form. It can be in a thought form. If someone is in some problematic situation, we can pray for them. That simple, or we can wish good for them. That is also a good karma. Through that also, we keep accumulating good karma. When we hate someone or something, when we curse someone, something, or when we blame someone, or when we hurt someone, through that also we get bad karma. That's why we say our words, our thoughts, our intentions have to be pure. Why? Because even with the actions of our thoughts, or even with our thoughts, we acquire good and bad karma. Even if you don't do physically also, if you think to harm someone, or if you think, even if you visualize harming someone, or trying to blame someone, or trying to hurt someone, even that thought also will accumulate some bad karma for it. Because we know there is a triad: thoughts into actions, thoughts which will influence the beliefs, and then it is transformed into actions. So the basic idea or the basic concept emerges in the thought process that leads to the action or reaction. So that's where we end up doing good things or bad things. And sometimes being more self-centered in the sense can be taken in both ways, productive way and also constructive way. The productive way where we need to take care of ourselves in the very first place. That is very much essential. Some get involved in so much that they even forget to take care of themselves. That is also not good. Because only when you are healthy, when you are wealthy, when you are prosperous, at least to the required self-sustainable level, you can contribute. Otherwise, it will be difficult. You may be contributing at a nominal level or the minimum level, but to contribute, to engage yourself at the optimal level, you need to take care of yourself. A little bit of or a required amount of self-centeredness is essential. But that should not lead to greed. That's where today people are suffering. They are on the accumulation spree, more and more of accumulation. And that is leading to scarcity. That is leading to exploitation of resources, which others are deprived of. You can have as much as you can. And planet has provided enough for meeting the needs of the population. But it is our greed that is exploiting the natural resources which are limited in nature. And because of that exploitation of natural resources, the ecosystems, biodiversities are affected because some species are becoming extinct, and there is loss or a permanent damage that is caused to the ecosystem, to the environment, to the planet because of loss of that particular species. Because the function that species performs, on which the entire other species are dependent, that remains undone. So who will be doing that? Everyone has certain responsibility in keeping this nature, environment, planet in order. Every one of us. We have a definite role to perform. When we are not performing, that gap remains as it is. That creates a new situation or a new problem. That's create a new problem because that task remains pending and it can create further more problems. So that's why it is very much essential that we need to understand in totality, in a holistic manner, that we all are dependent on each other and we need to take care of each other. That's why the concept of Sanatana Dharma, which has been there since time immemorial, where we say we all belong to one family, Vasudhaivaka Kutumbakam, where we need to care for each other. Until these religions evolved, so initially there was no religion at all on the planet. You cannot call Sanatana Dharma as a religion because it's not a religion. It's a way of life for everyone on the planet. After that, so many differences in ideologies, in the thought process, especially in the human beings, that created different religions. And today, we have so many religions that are being created on a daily basis, and so many religions that are becoming extinct because religions cannot thrive without human beings, but human beings can thrive without religion. Because Sanatana Dharma is there already in place, which is universal and which does not require any religion. It is a religionless society or a community or a planet. So that's why we don't need any religion for our health and well being on this planet, because already there is an universal system, that is way of life, that is Sanatana Dharma, which is followed by everyone. It is the natural laws. Even animals follow, even trees follow, even insects follow, even birds follow. It is both written and unwritten. There is no need to study. Without studying, that is inherited in your genes itself, in your DNA itself. But what we are doing when we are deviating from it and creating our own rules and regulations based on our own minimum understanding, we start exploiting, we start differentiating, we start discriminating. Like once we form the groups, like when we deviate from the main group, what will we do? We'll try to discriminate the original group from where we evolved. Otherwise, unless and until you criticize or unless and until you show some difference, there is no point again coming out of that group, right? There are some ideological difference or something that you don't like. So you have come out and created some system, and you have been following system, and those who are not comfortable with that system due to personal reasons. Mostly these things evolve only due to personal reasons. Either they don't want to follow them or they want to get rid them, because within the system they cannot do that. So coming out of the system, they want to avoid or want to change some things. But at the same time, they cannot live without any proper system. So that creates a problem. Again, when you are creating a new system without a proper understanding, you are creating a system with a lot of flaws. That creates disasters. Now, that is what happened. You are creating new religions, new belief systems without proper understanding, and is there lack of harmony in the societies, lot of hate speech on each other religion, where there was no religion at all. Now, because of lot of religions being created, and every religion is being followed by one or another, and there are conflicts, exchange of words, exchange of hate speech, exchange of quarrels. All these are preventing us to understand that we all belong to one family, that Vasudhaivaka Kutumbam. And our ultimate aim is we have come from a source and we need to go back to the source from where we have come. Because once every human being, every living being who has taken birth has to die. There is no exception. It is either today or some other day, but death is for sure. And there are a few exceptions. Exceptions in the sense they will die for sure. But when they will die is once they have completed their task which has to be done. Like we have Lord Sri Hanuman. He is immortal. Means he has no death. No death in the sense doesn't mean he cannot die. He can die if he wants to die. So he can end his life. But he has chosen to serve the devotees. That's why, as long as devotees are there, he will be alive. To protect the devotees, to support the devotees, as long as the devotees are there, he is alive. And once the devotees say that there is some disaster that occurred and there are no humans left, still there may be some activities that needs to be taken up. Maybe revival, regeneration. So everyone has a purpose. So they are immortal in the sense they are there for a longer period for a certain cause on this planet. But for sure, when they are done with their purpose, they are going to end their lives. That means they will get back to their source. So similarly, so this is a wonderful opportunity for everyone, for us to go back to the source where we have come from. So that's why we say Vaikuntham is a place where there is no lack or shortage. There is only abundance. Because it is the place from where we all have originated, emerged. And it is the place where we finally have to reach ourselves. And it is believed that on this auspicious day, as already mentioned, the gates of Vaikuntha, the celestial abode of Lord Sri Mahavishnu, opens up, offering a rare opportunity to attain moksha or liberation from the cycle of birth and death. That's why, it is believed that those who die, it's not killing yourself, committing suicide or homicide and saying you will reach heaven. That is not the way to reach heaven. Many people have some crazy thoughts as we were discussing. If you kill like that, if you kill yourself or if you commit homicide or if you kill others thinking that they will go to heaven, no. You both will go to hell. That should not be, way to do things. Unfortunately, people, that's where we are going wrong. It has to be through a natural process, but it should not be an induced, which has been artificially created, which is not natural. That is what, the entire gamut of disasters that are happening, because we don't want to stick to the natural rules and regulations, laws. We want to change everything. We want to recreate the planet. We want to recreate the nature. We want to recreate the environment. That's why these climate change disasters happen. We want to break the laws. We want to rewrite the laws without proper understanding. That is where we are falling into the trap of birth and death cycle. And we are, as per our account and based on our account, the highest we know the highest evolved species is human beings. And based on the hierarchy of biological and various other parameters, there are different hierarchies, like which has short life, which has long life, based on some organisms just live and die in every second. Two, certain organisms which live for hundreds and thousands of years and some to millions of years. So, what kind of life you are going to get in your next cycle depends on how much karma, the balance of your good and bad deeds left in your karmic account. So, if it is balanced, if there is no punya, no papa, that is no good and no evil left, that is, it is balanced, zero. Balance sheet is zero, then there will be no birth, no death. That means you are eligible for the moksha. Now your duty has ended. Now the purpose of life, purpose of your birth has been fulfilled. Now we have to go back to our source. Our journey has completed successfully, and we need to go back to the Almighty for further assignment. Now there is no assignment because our purpose of our birth has been fulfilled and our karmic account is nullified, is settled. So we'll go back to the heaven or whatever you call. Even heaven is not Vaikuntham, basically. People call. Heaven is a different aspect or a concept here. We can say it's heaven of heavens or something like that, even more, because we cannot define in terms of heaven concept the Vaikuntham. It is beyond the concept of heaven. So his abode is open for everyone, for mortals, devatas, and even the demonic on this auspicious Vaikuntha Ekadasi. So anyone can go. Other days, you have a lot of restrictions. Today you got a bonus discount, special voucher, or a special ticket, or a special pass. You get only one day, once in a year, where you can directly go to Vaikuntha. So it is also mentioned in this Srimad Bhagavatam that everyone in the Vaikuntham is Lord Narayana himself. God is in everyone. The lack of understanding that God is in each and every one of us is creating a lot of problems. Because when we truly understand and believe that God is each one of us, why we would like to harm the same God who is in all of us? Will not harm, right? The God who is in you is also the same God who is in me, because we all are creatures. We all have evolved from the same God or the same Almighty. In fact, to be more clear, there is no God itself, in the very first place. God is also a creation. Scientists call as space, energy, we call as God, and different people call with different names. But in fact, this God or energy or whatever we call with different names are all one and the same. Even we have a principle that matter cannot be destroyed. It only just takes different forms. So we are also taking different forms of life based on our karmic records. We are born once, so matter is created, neither created nor destroyed. Yes, because it is always there. We are just changing the shapes and forms. We are taking birth and we are dying in different forms, maybe as an animal, as a plant, as an insect, as a human being. And in this process, the highest is the human being. So, again, in the next birth, whether you will be eligible for the human being species form or not, that depends on your past karmic account and also the present karmic account. Because at the end of the day, it is the balance sheet that tells you, based on the balance sheet, how much, whether you can afford, whether you are eligible for the human species or not. If you are not eligible for the human species, there is a hierarchical order. So you will be, based on your karmic account balance, you will be allotted appropriate species to take birth. So that's how we keep, and this cycle continues. Though this many things are beyond our understanding, so many people don't understand, and it see, for understanding itself, it is very difficult. It is an abstract concept. Many things which are existing in the world only, people are not able to understand. There are many subjects people are not even able to learn or master. In that situations, understanding abstract concepts are very difficult. Not everyone's cup of tea. So what they will think, they, to satisfy themselves, they will believe there are cognitive. We have learnt about these cognitive distortions, right? So they will think, that they never existed in the very first place. They never existed, and they will never exist also in future. So they keep themselves in this assumption and delusion kind of thing, where all kind, they are not, they are in the denial mode, or maybe they have already transferred thought that, or they have already established a mindset where they have already decided that there is no such thing exist. That's why they continue in the same mindset, and they even do not put an effort to understand. So there is no point in reaching higher hierarchy, because when you don't understand, and even after reaching the highest hierarchy, if you don't follow the universal rules, and if you don't follow, practice what is good, again you are going to fall down from hierarchy. Like, you do good things, you get promotion. Otherwise, what will happen? You will get demotion. You will get suspended, or you can be also dismissed permanently and put into the hell permanently. Now, the more you get promotions, you will go to the heaven. The more you commit sins, you keep getting demotion, or suspension, or permanently you will be placed in hell forever. Now, this kind of understanding not everyone will have, because they cannot think beyond in their realm of life, because not everyone, see, everyone has different situations. Some people, they are thinking of food, they don't even have food to eat for one time. So for them, if you go and talk all this, they are not in a position to understand. Even if they understand, they are not in a position to accept, because their priorities are different. Their priorities are to get immediately some food to gratify their, to satisfy their hunger, to gratify their needs. Once that is satisfied, then they will be able to think and follow the next hierarchy. That's why we have this Maslow hierarchy of needs. I'm not trying to be, more specific or strictly adhering to all these things, but I'm just trying to, connect to these. They are all interconnected, but I'm trying to simplify. I don't want to put all this jargon into that so that you don't understand and make a complex thing. So this Maslow hierarchy of needs we have read, basically basic needs. Then only finally comes, highest potential, where we'll be reaching actualization, reaching our potential, highest potential. So the basic needs has to be fulfilled. And it is not that just once you give it and it is done. Every day we have to eat, right? And every time we have to eat, daily 3 times, or at least 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, whatever times we are eating, how many times we are eating, we need to have adequate food and water so that we can feed ourselves. We can meet our basic requirements like food, clothing, shelter, and also housing, medical, health care facilities. And next we have love, belonging. So similarly, this hierarchy is there. So people, because of their karmic account or because of various reasons, they are placed in different levels. Maybe not sometimes, because of our earlier life records, maybe earlier life and death cycles, we have done something which we could haven't done. But because of that, sometimes we keep suffering today. It's not that you have done something in this cycle, but because of the past cycles where you have been accumulating so much of evil, bad account, bad karma over cycles and over cycles, all that get accumulated. And you have to pay it now or over the next cycles. So, because of that, one may be suffering. Suffering is a form of relieving our bad karma, because once we do penance, once we start realizing and keep working on it so that we take up more good deeds, so that automatically the bad karma keeps coming down. Sometimes people, I think this, this is more philosophical, but at the same time, because I want to just try to share few common, I want to simplify it in a very simple way. Many people keep asking, I have done so many good things, but still so many bad things keep happening to me? Because it is the karma of your earlier cycles. You are still, you have a lot of things that has to be removed. Either it may be your own thing or maybe your family members, or where you have been a important or significant impact for their karma, which has impacted your karmic account also. And some people keep asking also, like, you know, only the bad people live better life. Most of the time it happens, especially in this yuga, though we cannot talk in terms of science because science cannot answer or cannot explain this because these concepts are beyond science, beyond scope of science. So science cannot talk about this and they cannot prove, they cannot disprove also. So it is not in the scope of science. Science itself is in its infancy, just 200, 300 years, and still science is not developed to that extent so that it can keep talking on these concepts. So it is beyond the scope of science. So it is not under the purview of science. So they cannot talk anything. They just reject it, saying that we cannot do anything within the realm of science. We have nothing to do. I mean, there is no instrument or there is no theory, there is no where within the science that they can measure or they can intervene. So it is beyond their scope. So in that, there is also common question that I keep doing lot of good deeds, but still I continue to suffer. And people who are doing all bad deeds, all kind of immoral, unethical practices, they are living a happy life. But why we have to suffer? Sometimes it is not that we have done something wrong that we are suffering. It is because we still want to stay in our own path of doing good to ourselves and others. So that keeps us, or that keeps us towards or inclined toward troubles, because the majority of the ones are, because in the Kali Yuga, the 1/3 are only the ones who are adhering to the rules, regulations, ethics, morals, and 3/4 of all are violating, are not adhering. So the majority, if you meet 4 members, one will be only, following all these ethics, morals, and the three will be the ones who are violating or the ones who are creating issues. That is the nature's order because this is Kali Yuga, This is the phase where, and next Yuga again, this is cycle actually, 4 cycles, where the man, this is the last stage, like in cancer, there is 4th stage, that is last stage. So we are in the last stage. In the last stage of cancer, what it will do? It is about to kill the person. It has taken entire control and there is nothing we can do it, or it is very little that can be done. There can never be nothing that can be done, but there it becomes less significant. Or even if we do something that may not yield the benefit as intended. So similarly, this yuga, Kali Yuga, we are in the fourth cycle of yugas. We have four yugas, and this is the last yuga. After that, we have Pralay, Mahapralay, where we have ending, and again we will go back to the first yuga. So now we are in fourth yuga, and this yuga is not going to end now. We have 4 lakh plus years. So now what is a year? It is only 5,125th year. You have been commonly hearing, 5,000 years back, 5,000 years back, 5,000 years back. People keep referring, especially, because that is the oldest religion. Even people, especially this is quite common with the religious people rather than, non-religious or atheist people. Because the oldest religion, which I was mentioning, there was no religion at all. The only system which was available was Sanatana Dharma, that is way of life, which everyone, including plants, animals, religion is only for human beings, not for plants, not for animals. That is also a major setback for religion. It is not applicable for everyone, every living species on the planet. But Sanatana Dharma applies to everyone on the planet, living being and non-living. That is universal. And because, we are following something which is not universal, that is not applicable for everyone, we only think of ourselves, human beings, know what human beings are doing, and we are not considering animals, planet, or any living and non-living beings on the planet that has created so much of disaster now. And it is the cause of a lot of disasters. So to overcome all this, see, this is all what we have done, we are doing. Now, how to overcome it? Of course, there are always remedies, exceptions, and there are shortcuts also, because God is always graceful. But we need to have dedication, commitment towards it. And more than that, we should have the discrimination power. Because if you think, they are doing, so I will also do. If you do good work, that's fine. That's fine. If you take up more bad work, again, you are inviting more troubles. So you should not get motivated or demotivated by external factors or other people. If you happen to do that, then you will not be able to achieve. Because everyone comes with their own karmic account. And no one knows exactly what is their karmic account. It's not like audited accounts that is displayed on the websites or public domain, or go to income tax office or Ministry of Company Affairs or Society Registration Office, somewhere where you can get the audited statements. This, you cannot see that. You cannot, it is not like some jar or some, where you can see that you can measure how much is this, how much is it. Unfortunately, of course, there is a way, but still not everyone can understand, or not everyone to that extent. So that's why we don't know actually how much of good is there, how much is bad is there, how much is required, in fact. No, otherwise, what maybe that is also one good aspect. If we know how much we have to do, then we will also be very calculative, materialistic, or how much to do. And again, we may never get out this cycle because we don't know the calculations, permutations, and combinations. We have our own ways and means of justifying our acts and accounts. So it may not truly reflect the actual account. So we might never get moksha. We may never reach heaven or hell. We might be struggling with this birth and death cycles only. So that may be one of the aspects of many aspects where we are still. So we don't know. So we have to keep doing good things, whatever good we can do, not only just human beings, to the plants, animals, to the nature, environment, or to the planet, so that we get rid of this birth and death cycle and ultimately reach Vaikuntham. Or, other religions say it is heaven, but heaven is not Vaikuntham. It's more than heaven or beyond the heaven. So at least, okay, in other religions, if say heaven is the first step of Vaikuntham, then maybe beyond that heaven also there are some things where we can go and reach other heaven concepts. If they say, in every religion they have this concept. That's why you can see in all religions, more or less, it is same only. The philosophical concept is same, but the way we practice, or the God is different, or the goddess is different, or the messengers of God, what they call, is different. Here, maybe in Hinduism, they might be having these acharyas like sages. There, they might be having some prophets, or in some religion, they might be having some gurus, or in some religions. So, almost if you see philosophically, the model, the structure almost are more or less similar only, unless and until few additions and deletions or subtractions. The ultimate essence is same because that is what Sanatana Dharma is. You cannot violate, go and create something else also. You can only just keep meddling with these things and make it appear that it is something different. But at the end of the day, it will be the same. The basics underlying philosophy or the structure is going to be same for everyone. Because we all, that is the nature, that is the law of nature. For everyone, not only you, for the planets, for the animals, for the insects, for the microorganisms, for the living beings, non-living. And you cannot go beyond that because you are not an isolated person. Without air, can you survive? Because air is following natural principles, natural laws. Its duty is to give, feed everyone, those who need air. It will not say, I am on strike from today because I don't like you are polluting me. I will go on strike from today, you will not get air. Did air ever say that? Because they are still following Sanatana Dharma. That's why we are abusing the air, polluting the air, releasing toxicants into the air, releasing greenhouse gases into the air. Still, air is taking and it is doing its duty. It is not worried about what will happen if I continue or whether I should give or not. It is not thinking. It is doing my duty. My duty is to provide air. So I will continue to provide air to everyone on this planet. It does not think what benefit I get, like, most of people now becoming more materialist. They'll say, even for a small thing, also, even to just to share information, also, they say, what I will get. If you ask the route also, where is that place, they'll say, why I need to tell. what I am going to get from it, what benefit I am going to get from it. So in that realm, it is very difficult. So that's why we are talking about this is to get rid of, to attain salvation. How we will attain? Because these are all the challenges we are going to face. As long as we think that we have to do something only when we get something back, then that account will never become zero. You keep accumulating good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. That's all. When that good or bad will become zero, when you start doing without expecting anything, when you start doing without taking anything in return, that's where, things keep changing. So that's why philanthropy is very important for everyone. Again, these charity models are different again, especially, charity again also, we are expecting something back, even if you expect name also. That's why we'll say, especially in Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism, they say, once you do some good or charity, it should not be known to anyone. Because once someone knows it, then you are getting the benefit of, you are being recognized, you are being getting name. Even that name also accrues you bad karma because you are taking credit for that act. When it will become charity, when you are not taking credit for that activity or donation or for that service, then only it is considered as pure charity. But when you are taking, even if you are taking thanks from them also, you are acquiring bad karma because you have already taken credit. That's why we should even do not expect a thanks also. That's why, we say immediately, there is a practice. If someone says thanks, please don't mention it because we are not, we are not expecting. We are not expecting anything. We are doing it as a duty. We are doing it as a duty. So that's why no need to mention. Because once it is mentioned and the thanks is accepted, what happens? We are acquiring the bad credit because we have done a business that is not kindness. So that's why these concepts are very complex. Not everyone understands. That's why I was telling, because we are so much occupied with this materialistic world. Sometimes it may not be so easy. It's very easy. In other words, we can say it's very easy to get carried away. In other terms, we'll get carried away by all these things. Maya, the concept of Maya is very well explained, defined in this our scriptures. You cannot get away from this Maya so easily, right? So this Maya will not allow us to follow or to be good all the time because we are getting carried away, we are getting influenced by all this. So, unless and until we get over all these things, that's why, the shloka, Bhagavad Gita shloka, today is Gita Jayanti also. So, what the last chapter and almost, the last shloka, it's not the last shloka, but the last chapter, 18th chapter, and the last unit of the shloka says, Sarvadharmanam paritvaja mamekam sharanam vraj antva sarva papebhyo mokshayacham. So it says, you forget everything, you do your duty and leave the rest to the God. And God will take care of you. When you surrender yourself to the God, God will take care of you. No, He will take care of your account also, karmic account also. That's why we say when, especially, Hindus, when they perform certain rituals, what they do at the end of that? You can see they will not take credit. Even, people think that they are, it's very commonly we have seen, oh, he's performing some rituals for some benefits. No. Of course, there is always certain benefit that we also get. But at the end of the day, we say Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. What does that mean? Whatever we have got, we are donating. We are giving it back to Lord Sri Krishna, who is none other than incarnation of Lord Sri Mahavishnu. So what we are doing here, we are not taking any credit for anything. Though you have performed a big homa, big yajna, big charity program, or you have organized a big mass or big prayer, you are not saying, you are not going to go there, say, see, I have spent so much, I have organized so much gathering, prayer gathering. You are not taking credit there. Or you are not saying, I have conducted a big homa and that is entire credit goes to me. No, that is never told anywhere. So what we do after doing that, we say, whatever I have done, whatever I have achieved in this process, if I have achieved something, that entire thing goes to you because it is on your command, it is your order that to be performed, and I have performed my duty. Now you gave me the order, I fulfilled my duty, and it is up to you. Whatever good or bad that has happened is left to you. That says, of course, that has a lot of meaning. I am not getting more into that. Maybe in the process of not making too complex, I may feel vague also on certain concepts, but I'm very much cautious that I don't make it complex. Better felt as vague also, no problem. So, when we say that Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu, or, those who are Vaishnavites or those who pray, they donate or dedicate everything, the benefits to the God itself. Because in that way only, what we are doing when we are donating, when we are doing charity without any expectation, then only that goes into our karmic account as a good deed. Because you didn't expect anything and you did it. Actually, that is the concept of charity. But unfortunately, nowadays the charity is different. The more you do charity, the more sins you are committing. You might be wondering why why sir is saying like that. But that is true, because you are not doing charity. In the name of charity, you are doing business. The understanding of charity is different. Now, charity means lot of publicity, lot of credit. You want to take, you are donating 1 rupee, but you are taking the publicity of 1 crore, 10 crores. You are posting it everywhere, you are sharing it everywhere, you are humiliating. Have you ever imagined poor guy, poor girl who has taken 1 rupee from you, how much humiliation he or she is going through? You did not provide for entire life of her or him. Have you? With that 1 rupee or with that 1 lakh or with 1 crore, whether she will be living, that sufficient for his or her entire life? Whatever you could do, you have done. That's all. And in the same way, you should also, you cannot do everything for them. Why we are discussing this is, even if you do everything, there is something left that you cannot do. So that awareness, that knowledge of that helps us to be humble. And that prevents us, taking unnecessary or undue advantage or undue credit of what we are doing or what we have done. So when we are claiming the entire credit, which we are not the right persons, which we are not eligible, we are just supporting them for a time being in one or other aspect. We are not entirely supporting them. We are not taking the entire responsibility of them. So we cannot take, only who can take, only God can only take the entire responsibility, because He is the one who gives birth, He is the one who takes. So only He can take the entire credit. We should not take the credit. And even if a credit is required, that should be in a proper way, with always a gratitude to the God, that only because of Him I could help you. Or maybe God has come in the form of me to help you. That's all. Nothing more than, or not even that. So that's why when we are not doing charity, in that thought or in that process, we are not gaining anything good from it. So the more charity you do, like a business, the more sins you are committing. Now that's where you suffer. Now the answer why I am doing lot of charity but I still suffer is this reason. You are not doing charity, you are doing business. That's why you are suffering more. Now, why some people keep saying, I am doing so many things, I am visiting so many, temples, so many churches, so many masjids, so many, I am depending based on their religion. I am doing that, I am giving to them, I am giving to this, all. But have you stopped yourself from taking the credit? You have been always keeping telling that I donated this, I donated this, I gave this, I gave this to everyone you meet. Even who you didn't met also, you keep publishing, you keep posting everywhere. Now you are taking undue advantage of that and undue credit of that. That's why you are creating, you are making more sins. And definitely that leads to more suffering. Then you will suffer more definitely because you are committing more sins. Now, what is the use? of doing so many things. Better don't do charity itself. The kind of understanding of charity which you have, that is business charity, don't do that kind of business charity. Because that is why people are more suffering in spite of doing charity or charitable activities, because they are taking undue advantage of it, undue credit of it. And they are doing not as a charity, but as a business. That's why people continue to suffer. That is the logic behind it. So now, as long as we don't go back and remove that business commercial element from it, we are not going to gain anything from it. We will continue to accumulate more sins. But people are carried away with this Maya, Maya of this world, Maya of fame, Maya of popularity, Maya of the social, construct where all these awards, rewards, you are not able to overcome this Maya, different Maya, aspects of Maya. That's why we are entangled in Maya, in our own illusions, illusions of name, illusions of fame, illusions of power, illusions of status. We are carried away with them, by them. So we are not able to realize, that's why we are not able to attain the salvation. So why we continue to suffer in spite of giving so much, in doing so much? Do it, but don't take credit of it. Don't make business of it. Do it and forget it. Even if you tell one person also, gone. That entire benefit is gone. So that's why, as long as you are doing more and more, you are accumulating more and more, that makes you suffer more and more. You don't understand now. Because sometimes what happens, this is, as I already mentioned, this is an abstract concept. It's not so easy to understand. You'll also get the benefits also. It's not that you are only getting, always we have, every aspect has pros and cons, right? We all agree. Everything has, like every coin has two sides, right? Every act, every thought process has two sides. One is benefit, the other thing, one is positive and other is negative. One is good, other is bad. So even in, that's how the karmic cycle, the karmic account is. One side it is good, other side it is bad. Now, with this bad and good, what is happening when we are doing some good things? Not only for us, good means even that good is also misunderstood many times. Good means not good for us. Good means good for all of us. That is where we go wrong. Good means only for me. Whatever is good for me, we are doing. If I am getting some money, I will do it. That is good for me. But what about others? Whether they are getting or not? Whether they are deprived of it? That we are not thinking. If I have a house, I should become the world's richest person in the world. That kind of thought or that kind of mindset creates a lot of problems, lot of, leads to a lot of sinful activities. Because when you say that, what you are doing? You are depriving others of that resources. You are accumulating, and that resources are not available to others. So you are depriving others. So what you can do? again you have to release them so that everyone can get those benefits. As long as you keep accumulating, you are depriving someone of something, right? So this is a problem, doing things. But so we can ask, because these discourses keep happening and we have a very different way. What I am taking this in is a different way, but generally I don't take this way. So where people also keep asking, is it a sin to accumulate wealth? No. I'm not even hesitating to say no. I'm not taking even a second time to say no. It is not a sin to accumulate wealth or profit. But it is a sin if you are not putting a proper use of that property or wealth. That is a sin. It's not a sin to accumulate property or wealth, but that should serve some purpose. And that purpose should not just be limited to you. That should not only serve your purpose, but that should serve the purpose of the entire humankind, animal kind, plant kind. Yes, why? Earlier these kingdoms were there, all these go to, all these taxes and all go to the government or to the kingdom or the king. Why? Because he has to conduct a lot of activities, welfare activities, social activities, other religious activities, cultural activities. He also needs a lot of money, right? He keeps accumulating wealth, but that is not wrong. There is a treasure, there is, treasury that is maintained. For what? When there are famines, when there are disasters, that needs to be distributed. That has to be put to right use. Then only you are getting rid of those sins of accumulation. Whenever the need arises, there is always a need. Because every hour, one person is dying because he or she is not able to eat. He or she is not able to feed himself or herself. We have the statistics, even on this platform, we have discussed as per various international organizations. No, a person is committing suicide in every 40 seconds, less than 40 seconds. A person is dying with hunger because not able to feed. So now in this context, a person is dying in an accident every hour. So these are the official statistics. If you just go and see how people are meeting with accidents or deaths and what are the various causes, you see there are a lot of things. There is a huge need, demand for the resources. But we are not putting resources into right use. We are just accumulating and keeping it. And there is no use of that. Not even for you or not even for others. So you have billions and millions of wealth sitting there idly. Now, what is the use of that? People are dying because they don't have money to buy, or people are dying because they cannot produce, they don't have investment, they cannot cultivate crops, and they cannot make any money, they cannot live their livelihood. And because of that, they are not able to provide food resource, food grains to others. to themselves as well as others. So this kind of deprivation you are creating through the process of your accumulation is wrong. That is where you are creating sin. You are accumulating more sins. There is nothing wrong in acquiring properties, accumulating properties, well, but it should be put to proper use. And the use and the purpose of well-being of all. Then only that wealth, that accumulation will not get accumulated as sins. That gets accumulated with the actions, with the benefits that other people get. That still continues to be a sin. But at the same time, because you are putting it to a good use, and that good use gives you more benefits, that is good karma, that karma gets accumulated in your good karma account, karmic account. That's how your accumulation, which is basically a deprivation, that is a sin, because that accumulation is not just for you, for the entire species. Right? Everyone has a right, as you have, to the natural resources. But when you are accumulating them, you are depriving them someone. Because that is beyond your need, requirements. You are accumulating more than what is required. That is only greed, right? You are accumulating for generations together. You can happily sit and eat, but what you are doing, you are accumulating so much that even 10, 100, coming 100 generations also can sit and eat. And depriving the present generations who are dying now. You forget about next 10 generations, they are not able to survive even for a day. So how much deprivation that is happening? Now who is responsible for it? You are responsible. Because where are the resources? It is with you. And who is responsible for the utilization, proper utilization of resources? It is you. Because of that, persons are suffering. They are dying. Now what will happen? That sins will get accumulated to you. That is why we are saying, when you are accumulating, you are committing more sins. When you are doing charitable activities in the name of business, or assuming that as a business, you are accumulating more sins. That's why you continue to suffer more. There is a way to do things. It's not everything charity. Charity is not at all a business activity. As long as charity is taken up under the business activity, there is no benefit that is going to get, but you are inviting more troubles for yourself. You are committing more sins. As long as you don't understand that, your karmic cycle, bad karmic cycle, keep growing, accumulating, and you will never reach, you will never attain salvation. Why we are discussing all this is because you have to go, you have to reach, you have to attain Vaikuntham, you have to attain heaven, or you have to attain salvation. That is not possible without all these. That's why we are discussing these. Even for the queries, people say, I'm doing so much philanthropy, I'm doing so much charity, still I'm suffering because you are doing it as a business. Or maybe in earlier cycles you have done so much like this or something, or so much notorious that you have accumulated so much. Now this is a time where you need to give it away in various forms, maybe in the form of wealth, materialistic, or in the form of spiritual, in the form of thought process, in the form of prayers. God will give opportunity for everyone. Even if you are not able to fulfill or clear this cycle, in next cycle he will give you opportunity. So opportunities are endless, but how many opportunities has to be given, that depends again on you, because your account, it is you are responsible for your own account. So you keep equilibrium. The God's duty is to create you. At the time of creation, you have zero good account, zero bad account. You are starting with a fresh account. You have opened a bank account, that is zero balance account. There is no credit, no debit, zero only. Happy. But so we keep blaming God always. Some people keep say, but God always gave with a zero, free zero account with no balance on either side. And God wants us to close the account with the same zero only. So that, but what we do while going, so in understanding a simple sense, while giving birth, did we get anything? We do not even wear clothes also. How we are born from our mother's womb? With nothing, right? And at the time of going also, we should go like that. We should have nothing left. Have you brought anything? Now, why we are leaving something back behind? Right? That is where the problem is. Of course, we have to leave more good, but what we are leaving, more accumulations. And what will that happen? First of all, it is your responsibility, because you have accumulated so much, to put in right use. After you, what is going to happen? If that resources are not being utilized properly, then again you are going to accumulate that sins, continue to accumulate those sins. Sometimes this accounts is also very difficult, not like normal accounts you learn so easily. It all requires, that's why we have to go through these scriptures. We'll get lot of explanations in different ways so that we can understand. It's not, this is a very simple concept, to understand this concept, we need to study so many things. But I am putting it in a very simple way because God has given this opportunity. God has opened doors to everyone reach Vaikuntha, right? So maybe that's the reason. Even I didn't plan that I will deliver this. I was in the normal routine of going with the commemorations, but God came in my form. Maybe through me, He is giving you the secret, the essence of getting salvation, reaching heaven or reaching Vaikuntha, whatever you call. But these three are different. Don't mix up. Salvation is different, heaven is different, Vaikuntha is. But all are somewhere down the line. They are on the same way at a hierarchical level. So maybe through me, He also opened doors for all of you who are listening, who are attending, or who may be listening later also through this recorded conversation. In a very simple, easy to understand words, that basically when we are coming with nothing. When we are going, we should also go with nothing. So what does that mean? So does this mean that we should not accumulate any wealth for our children or for our family? No, you need to have, because when you are giving birth to someone, when you are procreating, you have the responsibility also to live with the minimum necessities. It doesn't mean that to go empty means you don't make anything for your family or that. You need to have only the essential, the required, adequate resources, because it is also your responsibility to ensure that your children or your family also takes care of them in your absence. But till they become capable of taking care of themselves. Once they start earning, then there is no need of your wealth, right? They will start earning, right? Everyone keeps accumulating. Now, what will happen to that already accumulated wealth? Now you are accumulating more again and again. Again, you have to put. So this is how, beautifully put. Already there is lot of accumulated wealth that is hereditary. And you have the responsibility. Unfortunately, you did not accumulate your wealth, but it is your family property. You have acquired. And now it is your responsibility to ensure that it is properly utilized. If you don't do that, again you are getting sins. See, for no reasons you are getting again. Because you have owned it. You would have told, see, boss, this is not my property. This is my father's property. I have no right on it. You take it. You give it to government or you give it to charity. I am not owning it. When you say that, then you are not accumulating anything again. So you are away from those things. When you say, oh, this is my property, my family property, my grandfather's property, my mother's property, when you are taking the credit responsibility of that, when you are owning it, then that's where your automatic clock also starts. Now it is your responsibility, because always rights and duties go hand in hand. It's not like that, you say, I will only take the responsibility. I will only take the wealth, but I will not take the responsibility. It doesn't work like that. So when you are taking the accumulation, when you are taking the property, then it automatically, you are under the obligation to utilize that property in a proper way. If you don't use it, then you are accumulating sins. Even if you don't do anything, because you are owning that property or resources, you are destined to suffer. Now, people also keep asking, I haven't done anything. But you have accumulated so much, you have inherited so much property, and you are not using, you are not rightly utilizing. Other people are dying because of lack of resources. They are not able to flourish. They are not able to eat. But what you are doing with your property, which is generally, it belongs to everyone on the planet, but you have accumulated it. And what is your responsibility and you have become the manager of that resources, and you have to manage it well. And that benefit should not only go to you, but also to others. But when it is not happening, then you are committing sin. So even if you don't do anything also, you are accumulating lot of sins, right? Your bad account is going up, filling up, filling up. Even if you don't do anything also, that keeps growing as an interest, If you put in bank some amount and for some interest, even if you do nothing, that will keep earning interest, right? Like that, when you are inheriting property, resources from your ancestors, even if you do nothing also, you put into your account. You say, yes, now you say it is my account. That moment the interest start accumulating. The good or bad keeps multiplying. Now it is your responsibility. Which one you will multiply? The good one or the bad? Now, if you don't do anything, the bad keeps multiplying because there are resources where you are not taking care of. Because of that, others are deprived. So others are suffering. Now it is your responsibility because you have owned it. You have to put it to proper use so that not only you get benefit, others who are looking for the resources also get benefit from it. But because you are not doing that, because of that, you are suffering. You are accumulating more sins. Now that's why it is very important. If you are not able to handle, don't handle it. You get rid of it. Because getting rid of it, you will at least get rid of the sins. At least more sins you will, you can get rid of accumulating more sins. Nah? Why you, by retaining it with unnecessarily, even if you are not doing anything, you are committing sins. Instead of that, it's better you remove it from your account and you are free from those sins. At least even if you don't do anything, you do not, even if you don't accumulate good things, you are not accumulating bad things, right? Bad karma. So that's why we need to understand this. It's not wrong to accumulate, but that accumulation should serve a purpose that should serve not only you, but to the community back. That's why people say, every religion talks about it, because every religion, even Sanatana Dharma says, you need to contribute back to the community. Otherwise, that accumulation will turn into a poison and it will kill you. That becomes a sin. How that accumulation, good is becoming bad. What will happen? Food. For an example, I will give you another simple example. I am trying to spoon feed you with very simple example. I am not telling that in Veda, in that Upanishad, in that sage has told this thing. I am not rendering shlokas and tell you with all this. I am not feeding with you all that junk or complex thing, jargon. I am giving you very simple examples to understand. You are accumulating, say, suppose you have cooked 10 kgs of rice. Today, you are the only person to eat. How much you will eat? Maximum, one day, you can eat maximum 1 kg of rice. And again, it depends, okay? So, assuming that, say, if I have to eat, 1 kg will also be more for me, even if I eat 3, 4 times also. I don't eat, it's not that I cannot eat, but I don't eat even 1 kg of rice, even if I consume rice for 4 times a day. Taking my own example, if we cook 10 kgs of rice and we are accumulating and we are not eating, how much we can consume? We can only consume, say, maximum 1 kg, and 9 kgs of cooked rice is there left. What will happen then with that rice? It will start decomposing. It will get rotten, right? And after 2, 3 days, what will happen? Have you ever seen? This might be a common example for everyone. What will happen after 3, 4 days? If you open the container, what will happen to that rice? Cooked rice. Now you can imagine, I am just giving an analogy. when you accumulate resources and you are not putting it to use, so what will happen? You keep accumulating that. So that food gets spoiled daily, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. And it becomes poison. You cannot consume it. If you consume it, gone case. Food poison, and you can be dead. I mean, you can meet death or anything can happen, right? So the maximum can be you can die by consuming. So similar way, when you are doing accumulation, when you are doing charity, don't expect anything. If you are expecting something, that is not charity, that is business. That's where you get into that cycle. And again, don't come to me and say, I'm doing so much and again I'm suffering. You are not doing charity, you are doing business. That's why you continue to suffer. Or maybe you need to do more so that your account is more. So don't worry about I'm doing so much, but I am still not getting. So you need to get motivated yourself and you need to do more until you see that nothing bad happens to you or nothing bad is happening to you. So that you'll know at least by yours, okay, maybe now I have exceeded. I think now I have settled my account. Now my account is zero. So till then you have to do. Now it is nothing like I'm fed up with doing, I'm already tired with doing so much. There is nothing so much. Already you have done so much. Now you have accumulated so much, and there is no way you have to do. There is no other way to get. As long you will be just taking birth and dying, taking birth and dying. This cycle goes on until you settle your account. So until you settle your account, this cycle continues to happen. So better settle this account, close this account, go happily back, enjoy the bliss where there is no lot of abundance, there is no shortage, there is no pain and suffering. That is only salvation. Or in other religions, they call it heaven. Other religions, they call Jannat. Other religion, they call it some other Swargam or something. So that's how, so start Bhagavad Gita studying, try to understand. Don't read it as a religious book. It's not at all a religious book. Of course, it has been adopted by a religion. So that maybe because of that, it has become a religious book. But you don't think that it is a religious book. You read Bhagavad Gita, you will learn so much from it and take good things. And don't get carried away by this Maya. Don't get carried away by these religions which have been created. I am not advocating any religion. I am not supporting any religion here. Or I am not even against any religion. Because these all have been created and these will all go once human beings are lost. And today, in another 100 years, no one can assure that human beings will survive. In that case, just imagine after 100 years, say 2023, say by 2100, there is no human being left on the planet. Now, what religions? Religions will automatically disappear. The only thing that will be left is Sanatana Dharma. Because religion is only for human beings, right? Sanatana Dharma is for everyone, including planets, animals, microorganisms, and so that will stay forever. So that's why forget about all these religions. You follow. No? I'm not saying that you should not follow wherever you are born in or whatever you have adopted. Whatever that you follow. But at the same time, that is only the basic schooling you get from your own school, because that is the school where you have born, that is the school where you are in. But also try to study other schools also, because you keep maturity. You go from primary to secondary, secondary to higher and higher secondary, and then you go to college and graduation, post graduation. Then you go to research, then you go to postdoctoral. You'll keep learning more and more, right? So similarly, you try to understand the basic things are there. At the end of the day, you need to understand that we all are one. We all belong to one family. And it is our responsibility that whatever we are accumulating, we need to put it to good use. And it is not just the property. We are not talking accumulation of only wealth, that is money, gold, or buildings or lands. Accumulation doesn't mean only materialistic things. Accumulation also means the knowledge and wisdom. The knowledge and wisdom or the information which you have acquired over your lifetime should also be disseminated to others for good use. It should not rot in your brains. What will happen once you die? All that information, all that knowledge is lost. Now, what is the purpose? You have accumulated so much of wisdom, so much of knowledge, so much of information. Once you die, it is lost. So that's why its accumulation in the sense is not only just the wealth, the money, the gold, or the metals, precious metals, or diamonds, or properties, lands, buildings, not just accumulation means only. You might be thinking, some people might be wondering, oh, I don't have any property, so I'm not accumulating anything. No, everyone is accumulating, including me and you and everyone on this planet. Whatever we are accumulating in whatever form, that needs to go back to the society. Say, even if I am studying so much, so many disciplines, I'm giving it back. I have to give it back to the society in one way or other. See, that is also one way, because I studied few more subjects than you, maybe, or few less subjects than someone else. And that's how we created this multidisciplinary platform, where I'm doing justice to each discipline. That's how a multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, interdisciplinary emerge. Because we are working each other, helping each other discipline, helping each discipline, or many disciplines coming together for serving for a good cause. Right? For a good cause, we are coming together, and that research should help all of us in return. So already it's too late, I think. Now it's almost 8:20, so we will end it. So whatever commemorations that I had to take today, we will take it tomorrow. And the entire gist of what I was talking about since past 1 or 2 hours is, don't accumulate unnecessarily. Accumulate, but put it to a good use. If you are not able to put that accumulation into good use, don't accumulate beyond your capability or capacity. Once you accumulate more than what you can put in use, what you can manage, that where you continue to accrue interest of sins. Not only sins, you'll also accrue more sins, as that sins will accrue more interest. The interest will get automatically. added to it. So more sins get added because of not using it, not properly utilizing. So whatever, that's why people say, nature also gives whatever we want, we need to keep. We should not, if we want some wood, we should not cut the entire forest on the planet, entire trees, and keep it in our home, thinking that, okay, now for next 1,000 years, I need not go and cut any tree that is lying there. No. What will happen to that wood? It will get, pest will come, or the wood get dry. So every living and non-living entity on this planet has to undergo certain process. So we cannot say, by simply accumulating entire wood into our garage or into our warehouse, and we cannot say that, yeah, now I have enough wood for the entire thousands of years. That will not happen. That is where we are going wrong. We are committing more sins. We are thinking that we have money, we have property, we have everything. And what happened? Even the COVID is a classic example. People had money, everything, but even the last rites could not be performed. It was performed by some people who are not at all related to them. Those noble, we have to call them as noble, because those sanitary workers who dispose the bodies without any rituals. Unfortunately, there was no situation to perform any rituals also in that condition. Now, did your accumulation come to your rescue? No. Again, don't misunderstand me that whoever has gone, had that, met that such kind of fate or situation, are all ones who have accumulated but did not. Don't misunderstand me. What I'm telling is, no, in spite of having so much also, still there is a lot of helplessness. There is still a lot of learned helplessness, and there is a lot of limitations. Dependence, what I mean to say is, we are not independent of anything. We are still highly dependent on nature, environment, planet. So we need to live in harmony, coexistence. So on this day, maybe with this little information, through me, maybe God is also giving you a message to every one of you. He has already opened the door, and as always keep saying, gurus, teachers are the ones who show the path, not the ones who create. There is nothing creating. Already paths are there. Maybe through me, he is opening a door which is blocking you, or a window which is making you not to see. That now, at least now you can see the path. A path which has already been opened for all of us to reach the adobe or the abode of Almighty. So let's see clearly and see what we can leave behind so that we can move forward. So with this, I thank each and everyone, those who have attended this session and those who are going to listen to this session in recording. Hope this will serve some purpose, and at least if it brings a little bit of change also in you, that leads you to salvation or reaching you or making a better person, then that is more than enough. This little effort is fulfilled. So my duty is done. In fact, I'm not getting anything from anything. That's why I keep telling many times. I'm not anything, I'm not even taking the credit of doing. I always keep saying it is only the mutual efforts of everyone. I always keep telling I am also a volunteer on this platform. I am not the owner, I am not the manager, I am not the, anything. I am also one among you. I am also one, I am also a volunteer. So that's why I keep addressing you all as volunteers. We all are volunteers of this platform. The owner is Almighty. He is the one who have created it for a purpose so that we all can come together and do our duty, perform our duty. What is the duty we can do? Disseminate the knowledge. We have accumulated so much through our degrees, through our learning, through our practice. Now, this is a time where we all need to disseminate, distribute, share our information. This platform is created for that. To share the accumulated, to put good use of our accumulated information, of our accumulated knowledge, of our accumulated wisdom to the society. So that is the purpose of this platform. So no one owns this platform. This platform is owned by all of us. It is the platform of Almighty for all of us. To get rid of sins, to get rid of accumulation, or to make best use of accumulation so that it is beneficial not only for us, but for everyone. So with this note, I end this session and express my gratitude to the Almighty for providing me an opportunity to be part of this process, of this platform, and also every one of you who have been there, who have been joining on and off, and every one of you, and who also have been contributing through participation, presentation, collaboration, and in various methods, even in sharing the information to others. In many ways, we are contributing, but we may also face some challenges because we are not performing our duty right. Okay, I will take one more minute before the feedback form has been already raised. We request in the meanwhile to fill the feedback form. So I will take one more minute. See, like we all are on the platform, right? It's no one's platform. It's a platform of Almighty. But we all need to perform our duty. How this platform will run? Because already there are some set of rules that have been framed, like Sanatana Dharma, or like we talk about religion or anything, belief system. There are certain rules. We need to follow that rules. No one is exception. No one is exempted here. Even I am also not exempted. I also have to follow rules. I also daily conduct, whether how many, if even 100 people come, 200 people come, or even one person come, even two persons come, that doesn't matter. My duty I have to do. I have to conduct a session wherever, whenever I am allotted. It is my duty to make a presentation and conduct a session. Similar way, whoever has been allotted, it is their duty to make presentation, conduct a session on that day, at that time. Now we have to follow rules, everyone. Like, because it is created by us and it is maintained. It should be maintained. Again, when we are talking of accumulation, see, this has been accumulated. Now we have to put good use of it. So there are rules, but if no one follows, what will happen? That is where we accumulate sins again, because we have to put them into good use. And there are rules, we all need to follow them. If we don't follow them, what will happen? Again, we are violating. We are accumulating sins. Then our purpose will not be solved. That's what problem. You know? See, a simple analogy, one more also. What we have to do, we have to register. We have to attend. We need to provide feedback. And we need to download the certificate. So this is our duty. There is no exemption. Every one of us, including me also, everyone we have to do. If we don't do our duty properly, then how we will get the benefit? How this benefit will also benefit others. Once we do our duty, then all this will go into the proceeding of the publication and people will read them. People will get motivated from them and they also take up something so that it will also get benefited to them. So if we don't do our duty properly, what will happen? This will not go there, reach properly. And because of that, here, one person is accumulating and one person is doing, other person is not doing. So other person is burdened. Now say what? If one person is not doing, someone else has to do. Then only it will be complete, right? So everyone has to do our duty. Everyone has to complete the formalities. Then only if you don't do, I have to do, right? Because I have been assigned the responsibility. If you don't complete your registration, then I have to enter manually. Again, for that, I need additional resources, additional time. But if I have that, I can do it. If I don't have that, that will be pending. Now, how long till I get resources? How long till you get resources? Either you have to do or either I have to. So that keeps accumulating. That will also accumulate interest also because we are not doing that. Because you don't have time and I also don't have time. And that continues on and on till we find time. Either you have to find some time or I have to find some time. Again, that finding time also deprives someone else because we all are preoccupied. I have to deprive something else, which for that I need to take away, I need to cancel that thing. And again, I have to put that time, invest that time into this. So that's why, this all karmic, all this, that's why everywhere we can talk about everything, everything is related. In fact, what I'm trying to say is everything is related to everything. There is nothing that is related to, it is not related. So similarly, thank you. So I have taken more time today. I thought of ending in a very short period, but maybe it's a will and wish of Almighty. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us and see you all tomorrow at the same time. Before leaving the platform, we request everyone to quickly fill the feedback form. Hope I will pray and we all together pray and seek blessings of Lord Sriman Narayana on this wonderful occasion to provide us to the moksha, the liberation, or the salvation, whatever we call, to all of us. Thank you once again. Take care. Good night.